What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Donnie Does It. We're back on the 4Runner. I want to apologize for the delay in the videos. Life can get tough sometimes. I was waiting on parts, that's one thing. I was waiting on the headers to arrive from Offroad Solutions. They were getting ceramic coated. But also, I lost my job. And that was something that I needed to take care of for my family first. Spend some time on that before I could get back to these other projects. Great news, got a new job. Got a new career, really. It will still allow me to be working on my side projects and filming and doing some fun stuff. Anyway, I just want to appreciate you guys for being here. This is the next installment. We are going to get the headers on this motor. I might move the motor mounts a little bit again just because I want it to sit a little bit lower right now. It's sitting a little bit too high out of the hood. So we're gonna tuck this thing down even lower, swap out to some different engine side motor mounts. It's gonna be a good video, stay tuned. So I was wrong. There's no way that that's gonna work. So I'm gonna pull this motor back out. I'm gonna take all of the height out of these, set it all the way down. I've also got some 3VZ or the 3.0 motor mounts here. We're gonna swap over. These have quite a bit smaller plate that we can set down in there. You'll see there's quite a bit more gap there, so that should bring it down even further. And then finally, if that doesn't solve it, we'll do a little body lift, maybe like a 1-inch body lift. And with that combination, we should be able to get the hood to shut. So looking forward to getting that in there. I will stab the trans with it together all at once. And I think that'll be the last time this motor goes in. And well, fingers crossed. All right, we got all our studs out in preparation for the new hardware on the new headers. As a fair warning, a lot of times these studs don't like to come out, so what I like to do is just weld the nut on and extract them that way. I don't have a stud extractor, so that's how I do it. And if you don't have a welder, I suggest you make friends with someone that does have a welder. All right, so we are working on swapping over to the 3.0 motor mounts. And my block has the drain petcock right there, so it's gonna interfere. And my thought process is either to cut this back or to notch the motor mount. I haven't really decided which one yet. I'll probably cut off the petcock because I don't think we'll need that. I don't know, we'll see. There's another area that actually interferes too, which is the AC bracket. You can see that this one here is actually cast versus stamped on this one, so they're quite a bit thicker. So I have to figure out a way to thin out either this side or the other side. All right, well, crisis averted. Turns out this is just a press fit. I thought it was part of the block, so just went ahead and pulled that out. Now we got room there, but we still got to figure out how to make that quite a bit thinner to accommodate for this. So see what we can do. So that bracket's a little bit thicker, so we cut off just a little bit of that ear right there so it'll sit flush, and now it does. So let's get this thing put back together. All right, so the new motor mounts definitely do sit lower, which is nice. They actually have quite a bit more of, upright angle as well. So now I'm just going to cut all this out. We're just gonna drop this all the way down on the frame. I might even weld a nut on the back side of this. That way it's easy to just get a bolt in there instead of having to try to reach your fingers in there and do it. But let's get this motor pulled back out and get after it. All right, as with everything that Offroad Solutions provides, they've got no cut corners. We have multi-layer metal gaskets. They've included the heat shield. All right. As is the case with any Offroad Solutions product, we've got everything included, no cut corners. Here's all the hardware provided to make this flange work. On the block, we've got their proprietary crossover pipe to get the exhaust to come out the right side, or left side, I guess we should say in this case. Multiple layer metal gaskets here. They even included the heat shield that we're gonna need to, you know, keep some of the stuff cool because these are gonna put out a lot of heat. Very, very impressed. Very, very pretty piece. And again, this should just bolt right up and get right in the truck. Let's get them put together. Now, Offroad Solutions did assure me that these could actually be installed while the motor is in the truck, but since we've already got it out, I'm gonna go ahead and do it not in the truck. I don't actually know which one goes on which side. This one must go on that side. This one's gonna go over there. So. Remember to scrape that side down. Do that first. So I like to start by getting this surface nice and clean. So we're gonna come through here with a razor blade and scrape off all the old carbon from the old manifold being on there. Get it cleaned up real nice and brake cleaner. That way we have a nice smooth surface to put our new gaskets on. All right, we got our surface all nice and cleaned up. Let's get this thing bolted on, at least hung. Got one side on, I'm just putting 3 bolts in them just so I can get it kind of snugged up so we can get both sides on, crossover on, get a test fit. Because remember, we still have to move our motor mounts because we're gonna bring the whole thing down and see if we can't get this tucked down and a little bit lower. But this is looking amazing already. So I'm really excited to get this other side on and get this thing going. All right, headers are on. Crossover tube is loosely bolted in place. It's just kind of hanging there, so I know about where it's gonna land. This is not our final assembly, obviously, but we want to get this motor as low as we can. I went ahead and cut these down. Used to be a ridge that came off the top of these so that they sat about like that. I'm gonna go ahead and tuck these all the way down as low as I can like that. There's not gonna be any axle interference. I have it up on blocks now, but this will be quite a bit taller after it's lifted, so I'm not worried about any axle interference. Our bump stops will be set long before that axle hit the oil pan, so we're gonna get this thing as low as we can so that hopefully we can get the hood shut. Let's get it burned in. All right, got our mounts tacked in, much lower this time. It's actually sitting flush with the frame, which should be perfect. Let's go ahead and set this in there and see if it likes it.
It's time.
All right, I could not be happier. Headers in. Clearance all the way around. I still have it on that engine hoist because they're just tack welded in, but clearance everywhere. These things are incredible. And since we got those motor mounts nice and low, check it out. Disappeared. We're gonna be able to close that hood. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think I can confidently say that this is the last time we should have to weld these in. They're low, they're square, they're burned in solid. Let's get these things painted up and never have to worry about it again. Went ahead and threw some black paint on there. Little paint makes me the welder I ain't. Looks nice. I'm stoked. All right, it is a new day. We got William in the shop today. We're gonna get this motor stabbed with the trans attached. But first, Offroad Solutions recommends putting some heat shield on the firewall. So we're gonna stick some on the firewall there. I actually got another piece here to possibly go around the speedo cable. We also got a sheath here that I'm gonna wrap around our e-brake and speedo cable just to try to help it, you know, not melt. Maybe even put it on that brake line side too. But we can do that after the motor's in. Right now we're just gonna get everything on the firewall stuck on and get this motor dropped in. All right, Will's getting these last couple bolts torqued on the manifolds. I got our heat shield laid, kinda crooked. That's okay. You get that trans pulled out so we can get that bolted on, and then let's get this baby on here. Got headers mounted, transmission bolted in, knocking stuff over on the floor. We're gonna get this baby in this hole once and for all, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Why not? Just gonna get it square because freaking skinny. Yeah, so I can push this back. Perfect. So good?
Yeah. Just needs to get spun quite a bit. Oh,
Go down a little bit.
okay.
Definitely still need to come this way a little bit. I'll try to back it up a little bit loose. That's where it needs to be pretty much. Motor that way. This has like 2 inches of clearance on this side.
Oh, okay.
So
this is the whole thing. It's just...
freaking get it.
We bring you in here.
Yeah, I got definitely some tweaking to do. This shield.
We are in for hopefully the last time, I think. Yeah, that shield needed to come over a little bit, but it's okay. Touch it a little bit here on this brake line. And just a teensy bit here on this shield and brake line, but
Sweet.
so this is a pretty monumental occasion. The hood, it's not bolted down. The bolts are in there, so it's raised up a little bit. It's not latched because the radiator actually is sitting on the hood, but this thing clears. We are not gonna have to cut a hole in the hood. I'm thinking we do a 1-inch body lift so I can put my transfer case cross member on top of the frame, but overall, it fits. All right, guys, that is gonna wrap it up for this video. I could not be more excited with how things went. I think that might be the best experience I've ever had with dropping engines into cars. It never goes that smooth. We've got the engine in, the headers in, everything clears, trans is bolted on. We're gonna get the transfer cases attached. We're gonna keep moving, making progress on this thing, and it's only gonna keep getting better. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can follow along with this build. Thanks, guys.